Hello, welcome to another video from Far North Bushcraft and Survival. My name is Lonnie, and I'm glad you joined me. Now, those of you who have been longtime followers of my channel, you know that I rarely do product reviews. I've been offered many times to do product reviews, but I've turned most of them down, simply because my channel is a how-to channel, to show people how to do bushcraft and survival type things. So I made an exception this time, and the reason why is because this item is going to be so useful. This type of an item will be very useful to me for the things that I do, and since it's so useful to me, I thought it might be useful to many of you out there as well. And what we're going to do is review the Katana Boy 650 by Silky. It is the world's longest folding saw. So let's get started. I'll show you why I like this so well. Okay, it comes in what appears to be quite a heavy-duty bag made of synthetic material of some sort. I haven't been able to find out what the material is. Comes with a carry strap. It's adjustable for slinging over your shoulder. And it has an extra pouch on the back here for storing an extra blade. Okay, let's take a look at the saw. Alright, let me show you how the locking mechanism works. Okay, this is in the lock position so that the blade cannot be opened. Okay, so to open it, you have to loosen this up. Okay, press this down, and then you can swing the blade open. And the blade locks in place. A rigid lock. It won't come open. The only way it'll close is if you push down the knob again. Okay, and then you can close it. And in closing, it's got a lock, a halfway lock right here, so that your fingers won't get the teeth won't close on your fingers. So you press this the knob again, and you can close it. Okay, now speaking of teeth, these things are radically sharp. You might see a little bit of wood dust on them right now because I've been doing some cutting with it, and these are so sharp that they're polished. The cutting edges are polished on them. Now let me talk a little bit about the cutting edge. As you may be able to see there, this is not designed like your typical saw teeth. Most saw teeth are made offset. In other words, the teeth are like this. Some teeth are on this side, some teeth are on this side, and that is to help avoid the blade from binding up in the cut. Well, Silky is made by the Japanese, and they've got a patented blade system, and what they do to solve the problem is they make the blade, the back of the blade, narrower than the front of the blade. You probably can't see it in view like this. Maybe you can, but the top of the blade is narrower than the bottom of the blade, and it seems to work well. It doesn't seem to bind up. Now, another note on the teeth are that these are what they call impulse hardened, and near as I can find out, what that means is that I believe it's an electrical operation that it just flash heats these very hot, very fast, and then cools them off very fast. And what that does is it hardens just the teeth, and the rest of the blade remains very flexible, very bendable, flexible. Okay. Now another thing you might notice about this saw is that it is a pull saw. It cuts on the pull stroke. Now I can run my finger across it going against the teeth, away from the teeth, because they've got little ramps filed into each of the teeth that allows you to do that. But you try to go the other way and it would rip my skin to shreds. These are extremely sharp. Okay, I'm going to set this on top of my boot so that I don't set it down in the snow, and gives you an idea on how long it is. Here's a quick comparison between the Katana Boy 650 and the Bahco Laplander folding saw. The Bahco Laplander is an excellent saw for small little cook fires, but for production work you need a bigger saw. Alright, let's take some measurements. The blade itself is okay, looks like it's about, the cutting portion of it is 25 inches long. Now something I want to say about that is that compared to a bow saw, let me get my bow saw out here. Okay, this is my old bow saw. It's a 36-inch bow saw. Now, you are limited to the depth of cut you can make with this bow saw, or a buck saw as well. You're also limited to your stroke length. Okay, the log is gonna, of course, stop right here and stop here. Now, with a folding saw like this, even though this is a 25-inch blade, it's shorter than that 36-inch blade. You can use the full length of the blade, every bit of it's usable. Plus, as you stroke, you don't have to stop here like you do with a bow saw. You can stop back in here. So you get a much longer stroke for the blade length than you do with a bow saw. Incidentally, this is a log that I cut with this saw. Alright, let's get some overall measurements. Okay, total blade length to the body of the saw is 26 3/4. Okay, total saw length is 58 inches to the end, open, 57 3/4. Alright, let's fold her up and see how long it is. Looks like 31 inches. Let's see here, let's get an accurate measurement. 31 and about 3/8 inches. Alright, well, let's go do some cutting with it. Let's see how it works. This cuts almost effortlessly. I am putting very little pressure down on the blade. It's pretty much cutting on its own. Now let's see how fast. Let's measure this. Measure this real quick. This is 7 inches through. Let's see how fast it'll cut it. There. Now, as I was saying before, and as you notice, these teeth are designed to cut on the pull stroke. The reason why is because when you're pulling, the blade is pulled taut. Okay, and if these were designed to cut on the push stroke, you'd be constantly bending the blade trying to shove it through. The blade would want to be flexing. So, very well thought out design. Now, this is not as fast as a chainsaw, but it'll do just about basically everything a chainsaw will do. And let me tell you why I wanted a saw like this. I believe in the future things will not be as we know it now, and there may be times where we can't get gasoline for our chainsaw, we can't get oil for our chainsaw, we can't get parts for our chainsaw. So I wanted a simpler hand-operated design to take the place of the chainsaw. And I'm not a mechanic. I've got 4 chainsaws right now. One of them is running. Unfortunately, that one is out at our cabin and about 60 some miles away from here, and I haven't got a running chainsaw right now. This always runs. Okay, it is kind of expensive. They run about $200 US roughly. But when you compare that to a chainsaw, it becomes pretty cheap, pretty inexpensive. Now, I'm going to be using this on my snow machine, hauling it in when we go into our cabin and other backwoods trips here in south central Alaska. And I'll need a saw to be able to cut firewood from my wood stove, from a hot tent, and going into the cabin I'll need a saw to be able to open up the trail for wind-blown trees and trees that have fallen across the trail. So this will be very convenient to pack, much more convenient to haul on the sled or the snow machine than a bow saw or buck saw or even a chainsaw. Now during the summer, I'll be taking my freighter canoe back up some of these rivers and then on up little creeks where there'll be perhaps a lot of sweepers that are laying across the creek. Well, this will come in real handy for that. All right, well, that is the Katana Boy 650. The Katana, where it got its name is reminiscent of a katana sword, samurai sword. That's why they named it Katana Boy. So, there you go. I got this from Big Bear Tools in Canada. Now, one more thing about the blade. The teeth. Okay, the manual that came with the saw said these teeth cannot be sharpened by a hand file. They are, with this impulse hardening, they are 3 times as hard as your standard saw blades, so they'll last much longer. But when it comes time to sharpen it, the manual says it cannot be sharpened by a hand chisel, or a hand file. On silkysaws.com, they sell a file, a special file made by Silky that says it's good to use on the Katana Boys, the Katana Boy saws. Now, I sent an email to silkysaws.com asking them about that discrepancy. Can you sharpen or can you not sharpen the blade? I'd sent that on the 1st of December. It is now the 4th of December. I have not received an answer back. So you be the judge on what decisions you make based on that. But I bought this, or I received this from Big Bear Tools in Canada. It came very quickly. And I'd like to thank Big Bear Tools for the opportunity to review this saw. Well, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video. You take care.